What is up guys, Ryan here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to edge paint business cards just like this. Now I'm going to be showing you a cheaper and alternative way than getting them done by a third-party company. I roughly spent a little under $20 getting the supplies I needed to achieve this effect, and it really sets your card apart from other people's, because granted not that many people get their cards done with edge paint on them. And not only does it make them look really nice, it really sets off a good first impression with employers and potential clients. So I'm going to be showing you guys the supplies you're going to need to achieve this effect. This whole project only takes about an hour to do, and half of that is just drying time. So I'm going to stop talking. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll talk to you later. So before you start, you're obviously going to need to get a couple supplies together. Everything I'm about to show you, I'll put in the description down below for you guys to go buy or, just check out if you're interested and follow along with this tutorial. The first thing you're obviously going to need is some business cards. I got mine printed by mu.com and I designed them myself. I got my cards printed on luxe cards, which are 3 times thicker than normal cards. Now these cards really fit well in the hand and they just feel really good and sturdy. Now if I show you the difference between a normal business card and these cards, you can see there's a huge difference in how thick it is. And that's really good for what we're trying to achieve today, because we're going to be edge painting them, and it just really lets the color show. As I'll show you here, you can really see the difference and how good it looks. So these ran me about $60, and it was a really good deal for $60 for about 100 of them. So like I said, links in the description. You guys can go check out mu.com and get yours printed there. The next thing you're going to need is some C-clamps, or any kind of clamp would work. I got mine at my local hardware store. They ran me about $2 to $3, but anything that will clamp down your cards will suffice. But these worked good enough for what we're doing, but like I said, any clamp will work. The next thing you're going to need is something to clamp down on the business cards. Now, necessarily you don't need these. I cut these out just to make it easier, and these are just going to evenly distribute the weight or the pressure when the cards are being compressed. So if I show you, obviously the card will be on here, or all the cards will be on here, and this will be on top, and the clamps will be clamped down on it. It will just make the cards evenly distributed to make sure that there's no air in between the cards, which will leak paint into them and make them look really bad. So you can either use these or a rock or a heavy book. Either will work, but for this tutorial I'm going to be using some wood planks. Now the next thing you're going to need is obviously some kind of paint. I'm going to be using IRONLAK spray paint. This is an acrylic spray paint, and it works pretty well for what we're using, and it actually fits the exact color of what I was looking for. This ran me about $15, and it was shipped from Australia because this is an Australian company. I got it on Amazon, but I'll post a link to the Amazon link as well as the IRONLAK website. So that will be in there. Now, before you go and spray paint your cards, check the label to see how long it takes to dry, because most paints have different dry times. This takes about 15 to 30 minutes to dry. So always just take a look and see how much that dry time will take. Now the last thing I have here are some foam brushes. Now these aren't necessarily going to be used for this tutorial, but if you're using some kind of other paint, other people around the web have used these and they have been proven really helpful. So if you're using something other than spray paint, like using some kind of squeeze paint or some other type of acrylic paint, these will definitely help you out. But in this tutorial, they're optional, and I'm not actually really going to use them. But if you need them, you have them, and these are about $1 at your local craft store. So that's about it. Let's jump into this tutorial and let's get to work. When you're ready to paint your cards, you want to start prepping your cards in stacks of 10 or 20. The reason why I say 10 or 20 is because if you mess up on a batch, you don't want to ruin your whole stack of cards and then be left with a whole bunch of ruined cards that you just put money into. So I do stacks of 10 or 20 just in case something goes wrong with that batch. Now once you're ready, you kind of just want to start lining them up, and you want to start getting your boards or whatever you have to hold them down, and you just kind of want to start putting them on the board, and then once you have them straight, you want to clamp them. So I'm going to do that for you guys right now, but I'm going to do it over here where I can get them a little bit better. So I'm going to fast forward it, and when I'm done, I'll show you guys the final result. So once you're done, it should look something like this. As you can see, I just took about 15 of them, 10 or 15 of them. And you just want to make sure that they're perfectly straight. Now you can see right here, I might just have to work that out a bit right there. That seems like it might be an issue. But as you can see, you don't really see any gaps, any shadows, except for that one part there. That could be easily fixed. Maybe this area could be fixed a little bit more, but generally this is what you want it to look like, right about here. So as I said before, I'm going to be using the IRONLAK spray paint. It's an acrylic spray paint and it actually dries relatively quickly. It only takes about 10 to 15 minutes for it to dry, but to let it completely dry, I give it about an hour to 2 hours, just so you don't get any chips flaking off or any wet spots that you may have overdone. Now with this, you do want to make sure that you have it shaked pretty well, because if not, you're going to get strands of stringy spray paint, and you don't want that. That could ruin the card. So I'm just going to shake this up a bit, and I'm going to show you guys how to put this on the cards. So as you can see, you don't want to spray too close. Like if you're up this close to it and you're spraying it, you're going to glob the paint, and you're just going to make it seep into the cracks, and you're going to get a very bad result on your card. So you kind of want to be back here spraying from a far distance. I would say about like 2 to 3 feet away. I'll show you guys right here. So I'm just going to set this up just so it's standing in the correct position. Let me position these in the right way. Let me just twist this around. There we go. And I'm just going to have this being stand up right here. I can get it to make it stand. Alright. There we go. That's good enough. So if you're spraying it, you kind of just want to be back here, kind of shooting down. And if you have any white any white spots once you're done spraying, you want to fill those in. You don't want to get all close. You kind of want to be from back here. So I'm going to start working some of the shots, and I'll show you guys what the final result will look like. So right now, as I look back at my first coat, you're going to actually see some white spots. So I'm going to go fill those in right now. So if you're going to fill in white spots, and if you're having trouble with these C-clamps here, you kind of just want to shoot from down here kind of at an angle and just do kind of small burst, and then do it from the other side as well. Let's see if I got that. No. So you kind of want to shoot up at an angle, and that looks like it got it pretty good. Probably don't want to breathe this stuff in. It's pretty strong, so that's why you want to be in a well ventilated area. So definitely do not be doing this where there's no circulation, because you'll have a bad time. Alright, I'm gonna let that sit. That might be my final coat, but you can always do a third coat if necessary. So when this is done drying, I'll come back to you guys and I'll show you what the final results are if and when, if it's ready. So I actually think these are done. I'm just gonna let this sit out a bit more. But as you can see, I pretty much covered all the angles relatively well. But yeah, I just want to make sure that I let this dry just in case any flakes or anything comes off, because then if you do, you're gonna your cards are gonna stick together and they won't turn out so nice. So once these are done, I'll take you guys inside and I'll show you what they look like. Now it's been about an hour and 15 minutes and the paint is relatively dry. Now if you're using a different kind of spray paint or whatever you're using, be sure to read the label and see how long it takes to generally dry. And usually try to exceed what it says. So if it says 15 minutes, you know, if it does, give it a half hour to an hour. Or if it says 2 hours, give it 4 hours to dry, because then that'll just give it an extra buffer and make sure when you're taking them apart, you're not going to have any sticky or wet spots. So they're done here. I haven't taken them out of the clamp yet, so I don't really know what they're going to look like. But let's get these open and see what they look like. So it's going to be kind of hard to open these just because they had the paint. Now you kind of don't want to do too much movement of the cards. You kind of just want to loosen it just enough. And then do the same for the other side. Try to hold down the cards and try not to move them while you're doing this, because then you could kind of smear it. There you go, that's off. So let's see what this looks like. Because this could be a hit or miss, but let's see. And oh, we got one stuck to the top here. Let's get that off. So far, so good. It's looking okay. Looks pretty good. Let's see these guys. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It looks like this batch came out relatively very well. As you can see, except for that little spot, but that's okay. That can be fixed later on. As you can see, they look pretty well, evenly painted. The edges look good. There's some bleed, but I feel like that adds some character to it. That's okay. It still looks very nice. Now they're going to be stuck together, so when you're taking them apart, just be careful on how you do it, because you don't want to smear it. So that has two together. That has two together. See, we have some bleed there, so we must have just not lined it up correctly. But that's okay. Those are probably. Let's see what the other ones look like. There we go. Put that down. Put that down. Move it out of the way. There we go. That one came out good. As did that one. That one looks really good. So yeah, this is why you kind of just do small batches. Now this one came out pretty good. There's some small errors that are in here and towards the front of the batch, but these are looking relatively okay. I still have a ton more cards, so each one is a learning process, but the first and second test came out relatively well. In this batch, it looks like there's only about 3 or 4 different bad ones, but most of them look relatively really good. Let me just finish taking these apart. That one looks good. And as to that one, oh, these two last ones look good. So the ones that were really bad were kind of towards the front, but we still have a very even cover of the paint. Looks very nice. Let's get a close up there. As you can see, it kind of has like a high gloss to it, which adds a nice little feature to it. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this tutorial, guys. You know, it's my first one that I've ever really done like this, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to click the like button, and if you enjoyed it, add it to your favorites. And if you're not, be sure to click that subscribe button for more videos just like this. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you later.